what was a hugely anticipated game for the Toronto Maple Leafs. They fall in pretty brutal fashion to the Florida Panthers by a score of 4-1 in a game that saw the injuries continue to pile on. Bobby McMann goes down with an injury. We saw Stolarz really struggle for one of the first games of the season. And we thought we saw Nikita Grabenkin get his first points of the season. It was taken away to make the heartbreak even worse. And a game to forget for the Toronto Maple Leafs. They've been playing so well as of late. They unfortunately fall to the Florida Panthers tonight, but they still remain top of the Atlantic Division. We have a lot to break down. I mean, we have a little bit to break down. Let's be honest, not that much to break down in this game. But welcome in everybody, Isla, Jim, Marty, Tanner, Joshua. It was a very late game, And B, Darius, it was a pretty rough one from the jump. They went down 2-0 early. Stolarz was a little shaky. The whole team was looking a little bit shaky. And ultimately, they couldn't come back from the deficit. This wasn't a Washington Capitals type game where they came back late in the third. And hope everyone's doing well, but the Leafs fall in this one. And they were due for a loss, although I was hoping it wasn't going to be this one.
Yeah, the classic NHL 7:30 start that starts at 7:45. I love those. And yeah, the Leafs, I don't know, they just did not come to play tonight. That's what it looked like to me. And we'll
Jim's
get to
going to make
everything
us
in a
all
second.
smile a little bit more. Jim, thank you so much for the 10. On this day in Leafs history, 2010 legendary Leafs coach Pat Burns lost his battle with cancer. Respect to an absolute legend. Yeah, that's a very good and very nice donation. Yeah, shout out to, respect to him, Pat Burns.
One of the best coaches in Leafs history. In Leafs history. He's also in this background here as a little Easter egg. If
Yeah.
people can find him one day. I don't know if anyone's actually noticed him, but he is in the background as an Easter egg.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Jim. Always a pleasure to have you in here, and continue your shout out to Pat Burns and continue your little thought there. It was a late game.
Yeah.
And the
It was a late
vibes are low.
game.
The vibes are low. I can feel it. If you're in the chat,
Okay.
let's get some. I don't want to say W's, but let's get some energy. I mean, again, they're playing
Let's
so
get some
well,
let's
and
get some Go Leafs Go in there. They've been
yeah,
playing well.
might be like tearing. That might be tough to get. But yeah, goalie. Listen, at the end of the day, I'm gonna set the tone early in the stream, and who knows how long it's gonna be. But I'm the effort wasn't exactly there. The amount of injuries they're dealing with. They have reinforcements coming Saturday. You can't win every single game. Could they have been better prepared? Sure. It was a matter of time until they lost the game. They've been winning a ton. I'm taking the optimistic route, especially with the amount of reinforcements that are coming as soon as Saturday. This game would have been massive to win, quite frankly. But
No.
I can't blame them too much.
I there's two sides to it. One side, I'm like, listen, they've been playing really well and they have a lot of injuries. And the other side of it is they continue to do things. And I saw things in this game like bad habits rise to the surface again. And this is the type of game for me that you can create some separation with the Florida Panthers, right? Now they're only 1 point back of you. Yes, you're still in first, but it could have been 5 point. It could have been a 5 point difference. So I do have a problem still with this team. And again, there's a lot of regulars out. I understand that. And you lose Bobby McMann in this game. We don't know the extent of the injury so far. So let's hope it's not that bad. But there is something there that I don't like. Like, I don't like that they're still not rising to certain occasions like this. They've been playing really well, but this game meant something, right? The last couple of games, obviously, you want to win, right? And they've been putting in really good performances. But this one absolutely meant something. And again, they falter. And I'm kind of sick and tired of seeing them on the opposite and the wrong side of situations like this. When you have to rise to a moment and capture that moment, they're always, or they seem to be on the wrong side of it. And it's unfortunate in that way, but again, I can't take away what they've been doing the last couple of games. And I do expect them to bounce back against Tampa Bay 100%. But it's disappointing. I think Florida is the measuring stick team, at least in the Atlantic and the Eastern Conference. And you want to be able to come in and at least look like, you're battling with them there. And it's unfortunate. But again, a lot of regulars out. Hopefully McMahon's okay because that's going to be tough as well. But we'll get some news on that probably tomorrow.
Yeah, what's up, Marshall? Positive, though. Or positive thoughts, sorry. At least remains 7-2, one of their last 10. Who's bound to catch up to them. I agree with you with some of the other things. I mean, you look at the lineup and not taking away anything from a lot of these guys, but like we've been praising them for how well they've been playing against some solid teams. But like, let's be the effort tonight wasn't necessarily there. Now, whether that's because of a lack of talent, whether they just weren't ready for it, I'll let you all decide. What's up, Jay? But at the end of the day, they're rocking. I mean, Fraser Minton, Alex Steves. I mean, Nick Robertson is looking like a
Yeah.
sore thumb out there at this point for me. I'll get your thoughts on it. Maybe you thought he had a good game. I'm not saying he had a horrible game, but I don't think he had a very good game at all. And yeah, we will get the impact chart. I'm taking the more positive approach here. They're missing a ton of players. Grabenkin looked solid. Marner had another goal, but the effort wasn't great. But again, like, I mean, on paper, I think the Florida Panthers had a better team tonight, and they played better, and they played like a team that desperately needed a win after losing 4 in a row. And the Leafs more so played like a team that was complacent with a loss eventually, which was a bit unfortunate. But man, oh man, is was people were talking about Robertson. They're calling for his head a little bit. I'll get your quick thoughts on it.
We're 22 games into the season now. I said to pump the brakes around, 10 games in. People were already calling for his head. I said, let's wait for 15 to 20 games in. Like I said, 22 games in now. Nick Robertson's time as a Toronto Maple Leaf, I think, is up. I think we're done here.
This
The
would have been a
experiment.
game for him to really take advantage
Yeah,
of everybody out, and
yeah.
I think he did the opposite. I don't know if the impact chart's out yet, but towards the bottom.
I'm curious to see. I don't think he's going to be towards the bottom, honestly. But I am curious to see where he'd be. Probably middle of the pack or something. But it's not good. It's not good. He got another chance on the second line tonight. Like, you have an opportunity to play with William Nylander, who is the Leafs' best player right now, and so far this season. And of course, like, I'd probably give it to Matthews, but he hasn't played much. So you have an opportunity to play with William Nylander, and you kind of squander it, and it's not looking good. And then you have people questioning on Twitter and on the radio, why is Nylander playing with these two guys? Why is Nylander being put with Holmberg, and like, why is your best player being put with Holmberg and Robertson? And on one hand, I see it because obviously he makes over $11 million, and you're like, yeah, you should be able to play with anybody. But at the same time, it's like they're not making anything happen. So I think the experiment, whatever you want to call it, might be up at this point. I've defended him to this point. He's here to score. He's not scoring. You can't have Nick Robertson on your third line. It doesn't work. You're not going to win a Stanley Cup with a roster like that. So I think the time has come. I think they have better options in those roles specifically for the team. Just doesn't work anymore. Obviously, they have to be fully healthy for that to work. But it's not just that. I was a little bit disappointed with the effort. And I know you want to take the positive approach, and I'm trying to as well, because I think that, you know what, you're going to lose some, right? But I just think that sometimes you have to rise to the occasion. I am curious to see how they would play the Florida Panthers if they were fully healthy. That is something I'm curious about. But I saw things from your top guys tonight again that, like, confused me, really confused me. Bad habits kind of resurfacing again. That Tavares turnover on the third goal, the 3-0 goal, that really buried the team. They scored right after. Imagine if it was only 2-1. So stuff like that. I noticed that winning teams like the Bruins kind of do it. The Florida Panthers absolutely do it. And I'll get to my thought in
Jim,
a
thank
second.
you so much for still bringing some positive energy in a disappointing game. Wilderness 2 goals to the Sharks, 4 goals from Delman Robinson combined. Robinson, hard worker, but a scorer that can't finish by Robertson. Yeah, I mean, his effort's there, I think. It's just that his ability
Yeah.
is not at this point, like this season, which is the opposite of what we thought. We thought maybe Sheldon Keefe was onto something there. He's 2 for 2 so far. The Willie Nylander center experiment, horrible. And then the Nick Robertson
Well,
dog cage.
Sheldon Keefe is not a. Sheldon Keefe is an NHL coach. He knew a couple things. At least just
That being
needed
said, I don't miss
a
him at
new
all.
voice.
I think
But
Berube
yeah,
is
yeah, I think Berube is the guy. Yeah, 100%. I love Chief, but yeah, I thought he would have a much better season. If you look at his stats last year, I was like, wow, this guy's waiting to break out. He needs an opportunity, and it's not happening. So I think at this point, I've defended him all season to this point. I think we all have to face reality at some point, and the reality is he is a scorer who's not scoring. So he's not going to have a spot on your team. He does right now because there's a lot of injuries. But I think once guys start coming back, they're going to start looking to move him. It just does not work. It does not work with the dynamic of this team. It's like Liljegren in a way where can Liljegren play in the NHL as an NHL defenseman? Yes, but not on this team. So I'm starting to feel that way
What's up,
about
Blake? Hope you're
Nick
doing well.
Robertson
Hope you're doing well. Let's hit
as
the like button if you're. Let's try to get to 20 likes on this one. Let's try to get to 20. Yeah. I don't know if you want to check for the impact chart while I go through some of the things here. Mitch Marner goal. No one else really had a point. Alex Nylander was actually one of the only players, like one of a handful. I mean, there's a good few that were not negative tonight. He had a couple shots on goal. I think Alex Nylander still looked solid. He's looked like an NHL capable player. Let's also forget David Kampf is out. Connor Dewar is his replacement. Whether they're missing a lot of regulars. Connor Dewar, Matthew Nyes, Austin Matthews, Max Domi, 4 guys that are going to be in the lineup. And I don't know. It's looking. I think it might be catching up to them a little bit. Nick, member for 1 month. Shout out to you, Nick. Do we see Matthews on Saturday because of injuries? I think we probably see Matthews
anyway.
either Saturday or I think when's the next game? Tuesday.
Yes, next week I believe they
It's a good
kickstart
question.
a very busy month. But I think he's playing Saturday. I think that he wanted to play today. but he just wasn't up to speed yet. So I think that he will play
We'll
Saturday.
probably
I
get an
think he's ready
update
to go.
tomorrow or Friday as well. Maybe not
Yeah,
tomorrow. I don't think they
I'm saying
practice tomorrow, but
we got the impact chart in, and it's a little bit surprising. I actually do want to go through this
okay.
because it's a little shocking.
Let's
The
get it
last
up.
thing I will say about the game is one thing I noticed between like the Leafs and really, really good teams, and obviously the Leafs are a good team, but what I mean is like championship teams like the Florida Panthers. I noticed today, like the Panthers throw the puck like to an area, and then they'll just go battle for it, and they'll beat you in the battle. They'll win the battle. The Leafs don't do that. They're always looking for the perfect pass. The Tavares turnover for the 3-0 goal, perfect example of that. Looking for the perfect pass. Put it to an area, beat your guy in a battle, you win the puck back, you can create chances. Florida does that amazingly. The Bruins do it. A lot of these teams that will beat you up and beat you up on the scoreboard do it, and I don't see that from the Leafs sometimes. Always looking for the perfect play. So they gotta. That's one thing that I think was very glaring for me tonight. That they'll clean up. Hopefully, Brube
Very
will get.
interesting.
Yeah,
So Minton at the bottom. Nick Robertson pretty close. He was the third worst player. You have Mitch Marner
yep,
at the top. You have Connor Dewar number 2. John Tavares, Simon Benoit. I mean, kind of makes sense. Like Nylander in the middle. Morgan Riley had a bit of a rough one. I mean, no one really played great. Nick Robertson was towards the bottom, though. William Nylander as well. Funny. He got outplayed by his brother, according to these advanced analytics, which is intriguing. And Fraser Minton,
yeah.
once again, I mean, he's not going to stay for the foreseeable future beyond this. I don't know if you have any thoughts on Minton. Again, he's just looking a
Um,
little bit out of place, but
Yeah, a little bit. He needs time to develop. There's nothing really there anymore. I mean, he's up because of injuries. He'll go back down. He'll continue to develop and he'll be fine. The one thing I thought is a couple of things I think is interesting on this chart. Mitch Marner's individual offense off the charts in this game, but nobody else's was even close. And everybody's offensive team offense way in the negatives, like horrible offensive game from everybody. They got to clean that up. They have to clean that up. And I think that's like they've been getting away with a few things and they've been playing really well and they've earned the last couple wins, but that's something that when the going gets tough, they got to clean that up because we see that every time that they get shut down by a team like this. So a little bit concerned with that, but again, there's a lot of injuries. So I'm not going to panic or anything. I would
yeah,
just
no, I
like to
mean
see
they're
them
still
rise to
first in
this.
the Atlantic, and
Yeah.
again, they weren't first. They were a few games out just a couple weeks ago, and yeah, Connor Dewar with a quietly good game as well. I
Very
think
good game.
he was second, like adequate Connor or adequate, David Camp replacement at this time. Obviously not a center necessarily, but
No.
it's I don't know. It's interesting. I like Connor Timmins with a very weird game as well. Like look
Yeah.
how like a ton of team.
He also took a high sticking penalty where the guy was holding his stick and he was trying to grab his stick back and then he high sticks the guy, which is kind of like maybe they should both go at that point. So that might like affect his impact chart there because he took that penalty, but I don't know. I wouldn't look too deep into that
Who
one with
would you
Connor
guys take
Timmins. I
out of the
think he's been
lineup
playing well.
on Saturday if you get Matthews and Nyes back? Minton and Grubenkin probably, right? I think that's
Mintinger, Bankin, yeah, I like Nylander's game still. I do. Alex Nylander, obviously, but yeah, I think it's Bankin and Fraser Min. They both go down
there's
to the
also of
Marlins.
course Alex Steves who could potentially
Mhm.
um yeah.
Steve's, I think, is fine in that role, fourth line. It's the other guys that's more glaring because they're getting more ice time, and you need that third line to kind of produce at times too and do something. But I think it's them two that go down at that point.
Rube's impact in a nutshell. 7-2 with Austin Matthews is out. During this time, Leafs are statistically the best defensive team. Team save
Yeah,
percentage, improved approach, attention to details. Yeah, I mean, everything is still greatly improved for
they're
this Leafs team.
they're also second in the league in goals against, which I didn't realize. They were 27th last year, and so far through 22 games this year, they're second, which is a major improvement. I mean, top five, I'd be fine with top five, but they're second. That's fantastic, major improvement, and all without Austin Matthews as well, who's really improved his defensive game. So I think that's a good sign as well. That's the Brube effect.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're going to lose games. Would have liked to see them win this one and to see more of that in this one, but no, he has been playing really, really good hockey. There is a difference here, and I
And
think that's
Matthew
something
Nyes as
that
well, who was one of their best
yeah.
players before he went down. Like in Matthews' absence, him and Mitch Marner were the two best. Like they're missing a lot of guys, and we haven't been speaking about it as much necessarily directly because of how well they've been playing. It hasn't really mattered, but I mean they played a great team tonight, and a team that was extremely hungry. Obviously, I mean they lost. I believe it was 4 in a row, right? I'm pretty sure they lost 4
I
games
believe it was 4 games
in a
in a row
row.
coming
So it's
into
like
this. Yeah.
at this point, again, Gerbankin played well though tonight. He did play solid. He arguably should have had an assist.
They did take his assist away, so he did have his NHL point for probably like 15 minutes there.
sad. Only and he was on the power play for a little bit as well, I believe. He got a minute on
Yes,
the
he was put
minute
there.
on the
I
power play
think it
today.
was in replacement of McMahon after he got hurt, I believe. But still, I mean, he's got to put somebody there, and Gurbankin earn that spot, I guess. So
And I'm
good for him.
sure Craig Berube is going to put him in his or put the team in their place. I'm sure he's going to not let them off easy for this one,
No,
even though there's also a world where Robertson goes out. But I think if one of them comes back, Minton is the obvious one to sit out, and then maybe
especially if it's a center. Yeah.
yeah, depending on the positions. Honestly, I think we get into our 3 stars here, which is going to be an interesting 3 stars. Um, I want to put on the glasses. We're gonna stay
I
positive.
will as well. Yeah. We'll have some fun with it still.
Um,
Not the greatest
I
game.
mean, might be the most. Also, hit the like button. Again, we go live after every game. Even we got to go live even through the rough games. Even through the
Tough
rough games
times.
like this one, there's gonna be a big game Saturday. But 3rd star. Gee, this is gonna be a tough one. I mean, I know who my 1st star is.
It's gonna be a weird one for me tonight as well.
I will let you go first here. I'm going
Okay.
to. Okay, I think I have it.
So my 3rd star tonight is Connor Dewar. I noticed him offensively tonight, which I haven't. I also noticed him in on the forecheck at times, which I think that the Leafs needed to establish tonight to be able to beat the Florida Panthers, and he was at least trying. So he will be my 3rd star because he was very noticeable to me tonight.
Mine is going to be Nikita Grabenkin. He almost had his first assist. I mean, he was in the middle. He played a solid game, but I think he played fine. Everybody played horribly. I'm going to give it to Nikita Grabenkin.
My 2nd star, because it was such a terrible game and we only have a small selection, I'm going to give it to Simone Benoit because I also noticed him tonight defensively. He was playing physically. Obviously, you can see on the impact chart, he had a decent game. And yeah, I noticed him tonight. Pretty active stick. I thought he did a really good job on one play specifically of not taking a penalty, which he's been really bad with recently. He takes a lot of penalties. And he was being physical without going over the line, which I've noticed tonight. So I think that was a good thing. He's my 2nd star.
Yeah, mine's going to be Connor Dewar, like for the reasons you mentioned. He was actually noticeable out there, and he's been very good since he's came back from his injury, and he's done a good job in replacing what some of David Kampf does out there in the penalty kill and things like that. So I like the way that he played offensively and defensively, especially defensively for a forward tonight. So I'm going to give it to Connor Dewar, but I mean, there's a lot of different guys. Yeah, Jim, like I don't have any of your stars on my list, but that's how bad this game was. It could go anywhere. I think you got to put Marner on there, Jim.
I thought Lorenz and Tanev also had pretty noticeable games as well. Tanev had a great game. I'm going to give my 1st start to Mitch Marner because he played a lot. He played in all situations tonight. I thought at times he looked disengaged, and I was kind of frustrated with that. But at the end of the day, he played in all situations. He scored a goal, and he continued to skate. So I'll give him that for this one. So he's my 1st star of this game.
Yeah, me as well. I mean, he's also playing. He was. He got the goal. He played good. And he's been playing so great. I got to give it to him. But yeah, honorable mention to John Tavares. He played fine. Obviously, a bad turnover. Steven Lorenz, Chris Tanev. A bunch of mid game players, or not mid players, mid games from players, and some really bad games overall from the team as a collective. I think it was definitely a game to forget, to say the least.
Definitely. Also, shout out too, since Scott brought it up. I mean, McCabe and Tanev, they were put together pretty recently. And they've played a small sample size together, and they've been really good. I think that they're looking like maybe a little bit of a shutdown pair there for Craig Berube. So I'm liking that. He's found that early in the season, so that has been pretty good as well.
Yeah, Jim. I mean, your answer is good too. I think I'd throw Marner in there somewhere, but you could easily make an argument for those 3 guys. I mean, you could really make an argument for any of the guys out there. I mean, tonight, besides a couple of the other ones. Yeah, I mean, honestly, JT had a good game too, especially at his age and the way that he's been battling. He's been. With all the injuries, he's had to have an elevated role, and he's done exactly that. But, well, Darius might be a short one today. Again, we're going to have to fight through ones like this. Games like this are going to happen. I'm very positive. You're a bit less positive. I think, as a whole, you're probably similar to me in the positive front. But
they'll be fine. I think there's just a few things I saw tonight where I'm like, maybe clean that up for next time. But
and they have a couple days now. Again, more nights in between games, and hopefully the vibes will get better ahead of tomorrow. Ahead of Saturday's game, because I think most of these fans are okay with it, though. I don't think this was like a heartbreaking loss like some of them earlier on in the season. But any final thoughts in the chat, Darius? Any final thoughts from you? Honestly, not too much to take away from tonight's game from an analytical perspective. From usually we go through the players who played well, some of the adjustments they made. There wasn't much there. They didn't play well at all, and even Stoli had a rough game. I think his first time he wasn't featured as a star. He had like a mid 800 save percentage. So any final thoughts? And Jim, thank you again for the couple donations. It Much appreciated, especially on a get the vibes going after a rough L. Actually,
Oh, there we go.
Jim with the 5 gifted. And I wonder if Kevin, Yuki, Quentin, Edward, and Gordon. Everybody,
Welcome
thank
in.
Jim in the chat again with members now. We have some new emotes coming, and a lot of stuff coming from members. Jim, thank you so much. Your support is incredible. What's up, Caleb? Hope you're doing well. It was a rough one. Jim, thank you again.
It was a tough one, but thank you, Jim, for getting us through this stream. This has been fun.
Keeping the vibes high, Jim. Keeping the vibes high.
Yeah, we appreciate it, and thank you for spreading the wealth as well, right? With everyone here and a couple new members to the channel, so that's fun. And unfortunately, no Jose. He's got to be in here. I haven't seen him yet tonight. Hopefully everything's okay, and we'll see him Saturday. But
no Shane either.
No Shane either. But you know,
it's a loss.
Game. It ended late. It's a loss. It's a bad loss. It's not a bad loss, but it's like you're not feeling great about it. But yeah, maybe it could have been Jose's night. But Saturday could be, and hopefully it's a big Leafs win. But there we go.
Thank you so much, Last Nation. Have a good night, everyone.
Appreciate it.
Shout out to you, Blake. And again, keeping the positive vibes even when they lose. It's a long 82-game season. Games like this are going to happen. Jim, thank you, and Blake, thank you, and everybody in here, obviously, thank you as well. I mean, there wasn't too much. We still got to go live for them though, every single time. I mean, it's still. It's nice to kind of I mean, this one, I don't know if many Leafs fans were like really mad about this loss. Like, I feel like most Leafs fans were kind of just like, it is what it is. Move on to the next game. There's been
playing so well that
there's been some games where fans were pissed.
Yeah,
I wasn't pissed this game personally. I know there's some things they should have done better. Yeah, but you kind of just move on and play. Jim's actually gonna grab the last donation there, Blake. So with the 149, thank you so much, Jim. Your support is crazy. We'll have new emotes hopefully for the next stream, and we unlock some new ones from members. But yeah, Darius, any final thoughts on this? Again, a shorter stream. We usually go for 45 minutes, an hour, but a bit less to dissect tonight, quite frankly.
Yeah, not too much to take from this game. Obviously, Blake's him again.
Even with the loss, the donation wars at the end always come through. They always come through. So thank you so much, Blake, for the 279. Thank you. But yeah, there's not too much to take from this one, really. There's
no, not much to take from this one. I thought Jim brought it up just a couple minutes ago. I thought it was cool that Tavares took a stick to the teeth off the face off, and then he still got a shot off on his butt. Like, that was pretty impressive, even though Bobrovsky, for some reason, flashing the leather on that shot, even though he didn't have to. I thought that was ridiculous. Jim again.
Ben Wadding a game? He did, John. Great game.
I thought he had a pretty good game, yeah.
So Ben watching.
Not much to take from this one. I think the Leafs can learn a thing or two from the Panthers. I think Berube's still, putting things into motion as well, game by game. So I would like to see more of putting pucks to areas and fighting for it and creating scoring chances from that. I think they'll find success in games against tough opponents like this more often than not. So other than that, can't be too mad about it. They put together. You're going to lose at some point. The Winnipeg Jets won a ton of games to start the year. You're going to lose at some point. So they lost to the Leafs, actually. So that was great. But yeah, you're going to lose at some point. So I think as long as they can bounce back Saturday, as long as it's not, a continuation of this, they'll be fine.
And maybe with all these injuries, they get in the trade market. Maybe they pull the trigger faster than we expect. So keep an eye out for that. We'll have a video for you all tomorrow, like usual. Maybe Nick with the 279. Jim, you're always battling. You're always battling for it. Thank you so much, Nick. End it now. Feel bad. Feel bad. I will finish my thought. Video to Blake with the JK. He almost got you there. Thank you so much for stars. Yeah. We'll have a video for you all tomorrow. Thank you again, Nick. Thank you again, Blake. Video for you tomorrow. Maybe a double upload of stuff comes out on Friday, or you guys know the gist of it. And stream Saturday. There will be one. I will not be there. I actually won't be there this time. I've said that like every stream, but I actually won't be there. There's no world where I'm going to be attending it Saturday. I'm taking a day off. I'm taking a day off on Saturday. There will be a video though, and it might be just me. So he might get one of each of us on.
That's right. Yeah, you're gonna get. Don't worry, you'll see both
here.
Of us on Saturday.
Maybe I'm bad vibe. Maybe we'll get some good vibes back on Saturday so show Darius lots of love when you're there Saturday. I think it'll be a pretty electric stream, especially if they.
Let's hope they win.
Especially if they win, but I won't be there on Saturday, which is and they play again Tuesday. So
yeah, you don't worry, Nick. There's a busy month coming up. You're going to be seeing a lot of us on the channel. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a crazy month. Month.
I take play every other respect, day. Blake. Jim, I think you got it won this time. I'll leave it for 2 more minutes, and then we'll wrap it up. Oh, that's so unfortunate.
That's
I'm just gonna keep spamming this. Oh, it's always at the end. I respect even in an L. Even in an L. Thank you guys again as always.
Even when they lose, the passion is there. You guys have the passion, that's for sure.
They do. I think the Leafs, quick prediction for my score, because I won't be there Saturday. Leafs win this one 4-1. The same score as this
I'm
game.
thinking like a 4-2, 5-3 type thing.
They're gonna win. I think maybe a little Austin Matthews goal if he comes back. It sucks I'm gonna be missing Matthews' return.
Yeah.
Just like my Leafs tonight, I'm taking the L. Jim, there's no L though. Your sport's unbelievable. No. Thank you again, Nick, Jim, Blake, everybody who tuned in, John, every single person, Marshall, Josh, for everybody who tuned in here. Hopefully I'm not missing anyone. But everyone who tuned in, thank you guys so much. Again, your support's great. And
thank you, everyone.
Even on bad L's like this, we'll look back at these when the playoffs are coming and the Leafs are rolling and win the Stanley Cup, hopefully, and be thinking about these losses as lessons. But thank you to each and every one of you. Have a phenomenal evening. And if you want more Leafs content, video coming for you guys early afternoon tomorrow, or maybe morning-ish, depending. So keep an eye out, and we will see you all then. And at least the Leafs, even though the Leafs lost, you got our outro video to, the little tune here. So take it easy. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Leafs Digest, your daily dose of gold. Stories of the bold, where legends are told. From first pop drop to the season's full. Tune in and watch the drama